The Ink and Paint Club podcast is intended for mature audiences. I know we're usually talking about kids' cartoons and stuff, but there's going to be naughty language. Anyway, listener discretion is advised.
You're listening to the Ink and Paint Club podcast, your weekly home for animation reviews and discussions.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Ink and Paint Club podcast. And oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. We were gone for like almost a month, completely by accident. So.
It was pre-summer break.
Yeah, exactly. Kyle and I just needed a little bit of vacay time. Completely unannounced vacay time. But we are back. We're here to talk about the cartoons. But before we do that, I want to just make a few announcements. First off, I don't know if I mentioned this on a previous podcast. I know I said it on Twitter. But we do have a Discord server. So if you would like to come chat with me and Kyle and the various other people that are on there, come do that and just like shoot the shit with us and talk about cartoons and video games and whatever else you want to talk about. So that's cool.
Probably put a invite in the
I'll
description or something.
Yeah, I'll make sure there's a link to it in the description. And also, I would like to make a formal announcement that we technically have a Patreon now. Well, rather, I have a Patreon that there are rewards that pertain to the podcast if you so would like to subscribe to that. Most of the tiers involve getting discounts on commissions. There's like a low tier where once I get enough people subscribe to the Patreon, that I'll do like weekly live draws working on commission work. And could probably suggest stuff to draw while I do that. But the stuff that pertains to the podcast there is that if you subscribe to the $10 a month tier, you will be entered into a raffle that you can tell us what to do for the show. We will do a Patreon exclusive show, rather that it'll be picked by someone from Patreon. You can suggest whatever you want us to talk about, whether it's a cartoon, a movie, whatever you want us to talk about. We'll do a show for you if you're selected for that month. So yeah, there'll also be a link for that in the description. So if you've got a few extra bucks to spare every month, consider subscribing to that. So 'cause that would be really cool and would really help support us or me. So, so there you go. So, all right, Kyle, you ready to get back to our regular scheduled podcast?
Yeah, I'm ready to go back after your 2-hour spiel.
It was like 3 minutes. Shut up. All right. So yeah, we talked about the first season of Aggretsuko last year, and Netflix just dropped the second season the other day, so we're gonna talk about that now. Kyle, how did you feel about this second season?
I liked it. I liked this show. This show is great.
It's a super cute show. So we didn't talk about the Christmas special that dropped over in December, because that was kind of a bridge between last season and this season. That kind of picks up with the aftermath of the last season, where the first season kind of ended on a cliffhanger of Retsuko and Haida in the hospital after Haida was injured, and he was like about to confess his feelings. Then the Christmas episode kind of picks up from that, and she turns him down. Sad face. So now this this season that just dropped, just sees Retsuko,
Dealing with her mom.
yeah, you get introduced to her mom and a new little weird college intern guy who's a weird, strange antagonist. And she gets a boyfriend for a good half a season. Just lots of new stuff on here, and I don't know if you and I agree exactly, Kyle, but I think, like, I feel that this season was on par with the last season. Like, I think in terms of quality, I think they're about even.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone's better than the other one. Felt that they were pretty equal. I didn't really hate it or anything, so that's really good. I found it very enjoyable. It's a very cute, relatable show, and it's all you could really ask for.
Yeah, as relatable as modern Japanese life can be. But I like the whole... There's like a couple different subplots that kind of come and go. I get, like, when you consider arcs in this show. You got the whole one where she's learning... Like, she learns to drive.
Yeah.
Which kind of leads into her getting her tech genius boyfriend. The donkey guy.
His name was a bit weird.
Tadano.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, because last season she fell in love with another person, and it was like an autistic...
The deadpan guy.
Yeah. It was like a autistic red panda.
Yeah, he was kind of weird.
And she saw him as, like, really handsome, and then she kind of figured out they were really not a good pair, and then it was just a lot of her dealing with her boss and this kind of stuff, and a lot of different character arcs happen. Like, there was the arc with the deer, I think, where not a lot of people liked her, and then she kind of had an arc, kind of showed her what to do, how to act around guys, and that was cool. And then this one kind of had the same too, where they had like a side character that you only really see them, and they're a joke character, but then there's a lot more to them, and then you kind of respect them more as a character.
Yeah, they the kind of like nosy hippo coworker that Retsuko has, she kind of gets a little fleshed out this season, where you kind of see her, like, she's a mom of 3 kids and has a husband, and you kind of get to see a little bit of what her life is like, and you kind of get a different perspective on her, which I thought was kind of nice, because I honestly didn't like her character pretty much up until they kind of showed more of her home life, because you kind of feel the way the characters feel is that she's just like this annoying, like, busybody kind of a character. But once you see that, like, oh, she's a really good mom, she has a good relationship with her husband, and, like, you know, she's just really caring about, you know, her friends and her family and stuff like that. So it's like, that was kind of a nice little peek inside their character and their life, and it kind of gives you a different, kind of changes your opinion on them a little bit.
They touched down a bit on her family in the Christmas episode, because she was talking about she had to bury her Christmas presents because her kids would find it. Yeah. And then
yeah, I mean, there's that whole episode of the family festival. You even get to see her boss's family for the first time.
This is fucking hilarious.
They're just all him in wigs, basically.
Yeah.
His fucking twin daughters. They just sound like exactly like him.
Yeah. Well, that was the other thing too, is in the first season, even the boss kind of had an arc, and then you kind of respect him more as a character. You see he's a dick, but then there's also a reason why he's a dick, and you kind of understand him. And then he also kind of cares about her in a sense too, even though he's a dick to her. You kind of get to see that in the first season.
Yeah, see, there was a moment in the first season where they're like in that crunch time, and he like gives her that little speech about, you know, you just got to do your job and do the best you can and all that kind of stuff. I feel like they kind of tried to recreate that moment towards the end of this season again, where he like they're like in the same room again, almost in the exact same setup, and he gives her like a speech about like living for herself and like really figuring out what she wants, and don't live your life according to someone else's plan.
Well, yeah, because he says that it's his family. His family's the reason why he does stuff, and without them, he wouldn't be the same person as he was.
Right.
So he says that it works for him specifically, but it might not work for you, something else.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like that kind of thing. Her boss is a real dick, but then he's also like, he's a smart guy, and he's kind of respectable.
It humanizes him a little bit.
Exactly, and I really like that. I actually really like him as a character. He's one of my favorite characters.
He is pretty fun. I feel like some of the main characters from last season, like he doesn't get a lot too much to do in this season. I feel like Feniko really kind of got pushed to the back this season. I feel like she really got a lot to do.
I feel like she was kind of she kind of had the spotlight on her in the Christmas special, though, because it was a lot about social media, and it had a lot to do with her in that sense.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not that I think it's a bad thing, because Feniko had a lot to do in the first season, and like you said, she had a lot to do with the Christmas episode, but they were introducing new characters and giving perspective on old characters, so it's like, it's fine that she didn't have as much to do this time around, because it gave opportunity for other characters to, get the spotlight for a bit.
Yeah, the only character that, like, almost had no screen time, which is alright, it's kind of just almost a background character already, was the lizard lady.
Oh yeah,
she was only in one scene.
Like one scene, and that's all you ever see of her.
Yeah.
If she was like all over the first season, you never really see her in this one. Speaking of characters, the Fox guy, was he in the first season?
Yes, he was. I think he's the one that invited them to go to a party afterwards, like to a bar or something.
Okay, because I feel like I couldn't remember him initially, and then there's like a scene where Retsuko comes in and it's just him and Retsuko in the office, and they're talking and having this conversation about the hippo coworker, and it's like, who is this character? And he'd like, the next episode is the family festival one, and he like hangs around a little bit and has a few lines, and I'm like, who is this guy? Why is he just like talking to all these people now?
I think he's on the same floor as the other red panda dude, because it was him, a wolf, and the red panda guy, I want to say, and they were kind of like friends.
Yeah, I just like I just couldn't remember him being like an established character. I thought he was literally just thrown in there at random, and you're like, nope, he's been here the entire time.
Yeah, I swear he's invited her out after work to go
that's
drinking
right.
or something with them.
It's been a year since I've watched the first season, so I'm sure there's a lot I'm forgetting. They introduced a new character this season, which I don't really... I'm not sure how I feel about him, but it was Annoy. His name was Annoy.
Yeah.
He was like a right out of college grad and higher. And he's like super uptight and like really overly friendly in public, but then like apparently Retsuko says something he doesn't agree with, and he just like goes ballistic over email.
Yeah, she said it's not a big deal or something like that.
He just like takes everything way out of context, and like, you need to respond to this in written form, or I'm taking this up with the higher authority. And I'm like, Jesus, dude, calm the fuck down.
But that's where it's like relatable, because there really are people like that.
I mean, yeah, I get that, but Retsuko has a whole like arc with him where she like tries to avoid him. She's breaking her down, making her like just break into tears with like how aggressive he's being about the things she's saying to him, which are like nothing like she like he's like having difficulty answering the phone correctly, and she's like, "Oh, don't worry about it, I'll do it." And he just like takes that as like insulting to his work abilities and whatnot. So it's like these nothing statements he's taking out of context. But the thing is, like, Retsuko is his superior. She's supposed to be training him, and it's like, why is she taking his shit for so long?
Yeah, usually in work environments like that, because he was harassing her too.
Oh yeah,
And he was harassing everybody.
Well, that's the thing is like, because it's like he's got documentation of all the harassment. Like he's doing it himself. He's got everything in written form. He starts recording everything they say.
That might be a cultural thing, because I think in America, something like that guy would get fired. Cause I think
definitely. But
you can't really record people either.
Right. And it was just weird because it's like he keeps threatening to take it up, like, above her head, like take action above her head. But she even, like, approaches her boss about this, and he's like saying she's doing a good job, like bullying him or whatever. It's like just whipping him into shape and stuff. Like he even says she's doing a good job of it. But then like they try to get him to go in and like tell the dude to chill out, and like he even flips out on the boss, and it's like, why is the boss just not fire him? He's being a dick.
Yeah, it was funny that even the boss ended up being afraid of him too.
Yeah. And it was just kind of weird because like, I think there was some underlying, like, maybe sexism a little bit because he doesn't listen to Retsuko. They try to get the deer character to be all cutesy and try to get him to do work, and he, like, just does not follow it. But Haida just, like, walks up, said, "Here, do this," and he does it immediately.
Well, see, I don't know if it's this way or not, but that's kind of how I took it, was think he might be gay. It could be, because that was the cute girl, and it was like, oh, I can get anybody to do this. Mm-hmm. And then there was the whole thing where he was kind of like a good cook, and he could do that himself. I kind of took it as a gay thing, but it probably isn't.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not really sure. See, that was the thing, like, after they wrap up, the way they wrap up his feud with Retsuko is they get him to cook the yakisoba at the family festival, and apparently he's a really great cook, and she's like, "Oh, you're the only one that can do this, and you did a great job of it." And that, I guess, that repairs the relationship, and he's just like a normal character from then on out.
Well, it was kind of the theme for the whole show, is that you have to grow up, and the whole arc with that was that the hippo lady kind of treated him like a kid in a sense, and that was his way of learning.
Oh yeah, she totally mommies him into getting him to do things.
Yeah, so that was kind of how it worked with him, but the whole theme for this season seemed like it was you got to grow up and kind of deal with that. So that was kind of a good tip on that.
Yeah.
They did say that when you're at that age, you, instead of dealing with your own problems, you would rather blame it on someone else.
Yeah.
Rather than take responsibility, and that's kind of being an adult.
Yeah, because she talks to her two friends that are like higher up in corporate, and they're saying they're having like the same problems in their departments with the younger college age employees. Which I don't know if that's like a Japanese thing or if that's like even over here. Something I've really experienced, but I haven't had like a lot of experience in office work. So maybe that's an office client or climate kind of thing.
I've worked in an office before with cubicles, but wasn't really like that.
Yeah. One of the other characters that major characters got introduces you introduced to her mom, and I love how they introduce her is that like she breaks into her apartment, she calls the cops on her.
Yeah,
she thinks she's a burglar.
Mom had some pretty funny faces.
Yeah, I love that animator. Like, yeah, and I love that they show that like Retsuko getting her like her rage face like comes from her mom, because her mom has like her own rage face.
Yeah.
She doesn't sing karaoke at any point, but you know, And you still get Retsuko doing her metal karaoke pretty much every episode. So, but yeah, her mom's in here like trying to get her to settle down with a guy, so she keeps like setting her up on dates.
Well, that was kind of the thing too, is that I want to say like the first episode they made a point to tell her two friends were like, "Hey, we haven't done karaoke in a while. You must have like really calmed down." And then it like
her
starts
mom's
up
the
again.
one that sets her off again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
What I think is weird though, is they have a lot of toys on this show, and I've noticed that there's a water buffalo, and he appears in a lot of toys and a lot of merchandise, and I have not seen this character. I don't know who it is.
Yeah, I haven't seen a water buffalo character.
Yeah, I don't know who it is. I'll send you a picture of him, but
yeah,
he's in a lot of merchandise, and it's like, what the fuck? There's 2 seasons of the show, and I haven't seen one character.
That is strange. So yeah, that kind of like sets up Retsuko's kind of like adventures in dating life throughout this season, where she goes on these dates with these boys that her mom sets her up with, or she gets convinced to go to speed dating.
Yeah.
Which God, that just sounds awful. Like I can't imagine anyone has a good experience at speed dating.
Well, I always feel like when I was doing online dating and stuff like this, there's kind of a reason why those people use online dating.
Yeah, because all the guys were weird.
Yeah, exactly.
And then obviously she goes to driving school, mostly out of a lie to her mom to get around having to go on more of these blind date things. But she ends up meeting this donkey Tadano, who turns out starts out as like this slacker character because they're the same age, and he's going to driving school and is just completely failing out of it. But turns out apparently he's some kind of like super genius who invented this AI and wants to get AI to basically phase out all these menial jobs.
Now see, I kind of had a problem with his arc because it didn't work out the way that I thought it would have. And the reason was he doesn't tell her that he's like a tech mogul and stuff, and they want to go on a date and all this kind of crap. But how I was seeing it was he didn't want to tell her so that she would like him genuinely than her knowing who it was and only liking him for his money, but it didn't work out that way.
Yeah.
He just didn't tell her that.
Right. Yeah, it's like she even asked him, like, why didn't you tell me you were this guy? And he's like, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so brushed over.
Yeah, and then the weird part about it was everybody seemed to know who the fuck he was, but nobody else, she didn't know who he was, which was kind of weird to me too.
Yeah, it was kind of strange. Also, Mel and I kind of were wondering something after a while. Does this guy have an actual house, or does he live in his car?
It seemed like he was just living in his car.
It's because he's got this entire computer set up, and Retsuko is always just sleeping in the back seat. So it's like, does he just live in this limo? Because you never see he's either in his limo or they use the private jet that he owns. And it's like he never goes back to a house ever. He's just driving around the city the entire time.
Yeah,
That's all he ever does. But I did kind of like how the relationship went on, because obviously, like, they have good chemistry, but it was kind of she was kind of really leading into like his philosophies, because she like convinced her to like skip work because it's like what does it matter, so they can hang out together. And then he's like, well, you should just quit your job because like the AI I'm working on is going to phase out your job anyway, so you should just quit. I'm rich, you can do whatever you want. And like she even like tries to hand in her resignation letter. But
Yeah.
that's when she and her boss have that like, don't live your life because according to what some boy tells you to do, like live your life for yourself.
I did like that because the boss threw it back in her face and was like, "You don't want this."
It's like, no.
Yeah.
And I even kind of liked that, because like there's a theme going through the whole season where Retsuko like doesn't think she's going towards a goal. She even has like the metaphor of like she's getting her driver's license, but she has like nowhere to go. Like where would she even drive to if she had a license? But she kind of like through this relationship with Tadano, she kind of figures out that, you know, what she really wants out of life, which is, you know, she wants to get married, she wants to have a family, and Tadano is like, marriage doesn't make sense to me, like I don't want kids, and you know, to kind of like saying like, hey, this is where I want my life to go, and if that's not the way you want life to go as well, then, you know, we can't work out. And
gee, it's a little relatable in a sense.
Yeah, a little bit. But I like that they don't have like a big blowout over it. It's like she threw her metal karaoke, like it basically tells him, it's like, this is what I want out of life, that's not what you want out of life, you're doing amazing things, and you know, I can't be a part of that because I want different things. And he kind of just like, yeah, he's like, yeah, we want different things, so you know, we shouldn't have to compromise for each other for how we want life to be. So it's like they just kind of split up, and it's not even that big of a deal. It's just treated as like, yep, we're better off apart, and maybe they'll be friends down the line sometime. But it was I think it was handled really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very nice kind of realistic kind of take on it. Well, there was no drama to it. It was just like, you know.
It just kind of makes you wonder how season 3 is going to play out.
Yeah, I'm not sure where they're gonna go from here, because the first season she was like wanting to get married because she wanted to quit her job. She just wanted to be a housewife. And in this season, she kind of like doubles down on that. Well, not so much the like wanting to get out of work, but she's like, I want to get married and have kids because that's just like that's what I want out of life. So I almost feel like in the next season, she's going to be like, she's either going to like carry on that theme of living for herself and just like trying to figure out who she is and, you know, what other direction she wants her life to go in besides, you know, just the marriage and kids route. Or she's gonna like just buckle down on that and really make an effort to find somebody. So I don't know how long this show is like intended to go on. I don't know how long they're gonna, you know, carry that kind of thing. Yeah,
it's one of those things where I do want to talk about that too, but yeah, you don't really know because it's just a mascot for a company. Could go on for as long as they want, or could have
as little as they want.
ending.
Yeah, but yeah, and it was kind of interesting to see, because Haida obviously still is in love with Retsuko, even after she turned him down in the Christmas special. And he even takes her and Tadano getting together like really hard because he calls Fedeko and she's like, "Did you fall over and break your back again?" And he's like, "Yeah."
He's like, "I already did that."
I did that before I called you.
Yeah.
He's just like, "Don't do that." So that was kind of funny, and even like how he teams up with her upper management friends to like kidnap Tadano to get him to the karaoke so she can break up with him.
That was just kind of a weird.
That was a weird sequence, but I got a kick out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a lot of I think this was a solid season. I'm enjoying this so far. Both seasons have been really really good. It's just a very down to earth kind of show. It's very much it's slice of life, like down to the T. But it's a cute show, cute little characters, but still have like relatable life experiences, and especially if you're people of our age and you're mid to late 20s, it kind of like speaks to that a bit.
Because figuring out what you're gonna do with your life is crazy.
It's hard, man. I'm 28 and I'm still not entirely sure what I'm doing with my life.
Yikes. I could have told you that.
I know. But
anyway, should I talk about my weekend?
Yeah, Kyle had a Aggretsuko event that he went to.
Yeah, so on Facebook I saw that they were doing a event with the creator out in LA. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. That's normally where I go to. I was at the Sanrio store in LA, and that's kind of in the heart of Little Tokyo. So we went over there. I went at like when the store opened at like 10, and I think we were maybe 30 people in line.
Mm-hmm.
But man, there's a lot of weirdos.
I mean, that kind of comes with the territory.
It does. There was a lot of weebs, of course, and I don't know. We were both kind of uncomfortable because I don't know. We don't really wear fandom and stuff like that on our shoulder, so it's kind of.
You're not one of those people that like you self-identify with a certain property.
Yeah. So you have people like that, you have people cosplaying, you just have a bunch of weirdos. So went to this event, and I had to get a ticket for signing because the creator was doing a signing. All right, cool. So went and had lunch after I got the ticket, and then went to meet her. And it was just really cute Japanese girl. She was wearing the medical mask with the rage face on it.
Oh, that's funny.
So you couldn't really see her, and she definitely didn't speak English because
did she have a translator with her?
Yeah, he said he was asking people for their names and stuff. But I got to see like every so often she drew something different for everybody, so I thought that was cool. So she wasn't just drawing the same thing over and over.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I went. They had like these little boards that she drew on, and then I had a Funko figure that I got drawn onto, which I thought was neat.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
The weird thing though was, well, the two talking points I want to talk about is so something like this. It's really weird that there's a creator behind it, which doesn't sound that weird when you say it, but I mean, you have this thing, it comes from Sanrio, Hello Kitty, whatever. You just think this company like kind of shits this out, and then you're like, oh, okay, this is a cool idea, but for it to actually have a creator, it's really neat. Because they don't really advertise that kind of stuff. It's the same as Funko figures. You don't realize that there's a sculptor behind this making these figures and stuff.
Right. Yeah. It's just somebody at the Funko offices.
Yeah. It's something that you don't really think of. So, yeah, it was really neat to see her, and everything she drew, it looks exactly the same as all the art behind it. So
yeah.
Kind of neat. You get some respect for him, but the other thing that's really weird that I don't really like, but so for this event we had to stand in line, and I'm telling you, we were 30 people in line. There must have been like 120, 150 people in line afterwards. So they only had so many spots available. So I had already got my ticket. Like, I'm good. And then, like, a whole army of fursuits come in. And that's one of the things where you kind of put it behind your head. You're like, not thinking that furries are into this, but of course they were.
Of course they'd be. Why not?
Yeah.
It's cute little Japanese animals. Why wouldn't they be?
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. It's like with Zootopia, I fully get it. Furries are gonna fucking love this, whatever. But with something like this, I don't take it as that. It's just cute cartoon animals. You know, cute Japanese cartoon animals. I don't see them as furries. They're just silly little cartoon characters.
Yeah.
So, you have all these furries, and then I'm thinking, oh, fuck. Like, you see the creator, and I'm like, she's probably creeped out as much as I am.
Oh, yeah.
And that probably goes without saying already, but... I mean, you've shown me Japanese furries. I think they're a little bit classier than American furries.
That's the thing, man. Like, look, if you're if you're a furry and that's just your lifestyle, I mean, more power to you, man. You know, I'm not here to judge. But man, I've seen some like Japanese fursuits, and like I'm not a furry at all, but damn, I gotta appreciate the craft work on that stuff because some of that stuff's like really kind of impressive.
Yeah, they're impressive, but like, I don't know. When I see American fursuits, they look like it's made by the same person. There's like no personality. It's just the same fucking design to me. But that's honestly, how I see it.
Look, I can't claim not like I'm constantly baffled by the furry community. Like I just don't get it. I kind of don't want to get it. It's just not my thing. I see them when I go to conventions periodically. It's a strange concept to me, but you know, not here to judge. But yeah, I kind of get that. Like, they're all the kind of the same like cartoon dog design. I don't get the obsession with like neon and like rave attire. Like,
yeah,
it seems to be predominant. I don't understand.
The thing is, like if you're into that shit, that's cool, I guess. But the way I sees it is, it's like 99% degeneracy, and I can't get behind that. It's a lot of weird fetish stuff and a lot of I'm not into that, bro.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
But yeah, this event got mobbed by furries, and I don't know why they were there because they came so fucking late, and yeah, of course they didn't get a part of it. They were kind of turned down.
Aw.
Shooed away.
Poor furries.
Jesus. But yeah, like, say you've been to conventions and stuff like that. I go to the biggest convention, like, in all of the United States. San Diego Comic-Con is like one of the biggest fucking conventions, and I have not seen one furry go to that convention.
I think I've only ever been to like I only have ever seen them at anime conventions. I've been to a couple like more normal conventions, like actual comic book ones. I haven't seen them there. I think I think you're more likely to see them if you go to like something more anime based. Okay,
that's probably something I would never go to, so
yeah.
Never so see that.
You're less likely to encounter them than I have.
That's one of those things where I don't fucking think about it and I forget they exist, and then you see them in the wild and you're like, oh shit. And even Ari was like, it's creepy because they're like waving to children and children are coming up to them. Like I said,
children see them as like like mascots and stuff.
Yeah, and like I said, when I see them, I know they're like 99% degeneracy, and to be around children, it makes me.
I just can't imagine them walking around in those things, being all sweaty, and they probably just smell weird.
Oh, it was hot as fuck that day. So
when you live in California, it's always hot.
Yeah, both of us were like, how are they putting up with that?
I mean, I don't understand how you walk around in a beanie and a hoodie every day, but
that's more than wearing a fucking costume. I think a little less than that.
I'm just saying, but I don't know, but yeah, if that's what you're into, everyone's got their thing, just don't be weird about it, I guess.
Yeah,
like
if
with
that's
anything.
what you're in, if that's what you're into, that's cool. Whatever, just stay the hell away from me and my children.
You don't have any children, Kyle.
My dog counts.
There you go.
Stay the hell away from him.
Don't indoctrinate your dog.
Yeah.
But is there anything else you want to say about Aggretsuko this new season?
I like it. I kind of want to download the OST if I can find it, because I do like the music in this show.
It's got a lot of like themes. Like I feel like there's a lot of it like cycles through like the same 6 songs.
And I love all 6 of those songs.
I know.
They're
they're really catchy little background tones, but it's like I feel like they're themed to like certain situation, like reoccurring situations. Like I almost wonder if like one of them is like, oh, this one's Retsuko's theme, this one's Tone's theme, this one's hiatus theme or whatever, and that's just they cycle through.
I was looking it up, and I guess the one with the phone, when you hear the phone, it was just called Office Theme.
That's
on
the thing.
YouTube.
There's like one that has like a phone dial tone. There's one that has like an internet dial-up sound.
Yeah.
Just really weird like background noises.
This is one of the shows where if they had a DVD out, I would actually buy it.
There might be. This is Netflix, so I don't know. They're weird about what they do and don't release on physical media. I think Stranger Things is like one of the few things they do.
Yeah.
I don't know. But, yeah, if you haven't checked out Aggretsuko before, and you like this kind of like slice of life, just mellow kind of show, I think you'd enjoy it. 2 seasons and a special are out right now, so I mean, and the episodes are only like 15, 20 minutes long, so it's real easy to burn through a season. Like I think we watched the entire 2nd season in like an evening. So
yeah,
it's like I think like each season is maybe like 3 hours long, if that. So it's a cute little show. You should watch it. It's fun and all that good stuff. So, but yeah, there you go, guys. There's our take on Aggretsuko season 2. Again, sorry we were gone for so long without saying anything, but we're back and we'll get back to posting episodes weekly. But yeah, so check out our Discord, check out Patreon if you want to be into those kind of things. I'll leave links to that in the description, and we'll catch you all again next time with something else.
Yeah.
We'll see y'all guys next time.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to the Ink and Paint Club podcast. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter to keep up with the show. Join our Discord to chat with us, and subscribe to our Patreon for some cool bonuses. Links are in the description. We'll see you next time.